Hey guys, welcome to Comic Night by Z's episode 19. Yeah, Zoltan. Episode 19 of Volume 2.
Yes.
We're really getting up there in numbers. You know, legacy. We got to do the legacy numbering eventually, but you know, because you know, Marvel legacy.
Legacy.
All right, guys. So you know how it goes. I mean, just because we have stuff starting early doesn't mean that it's the worst one. It's just like it's not our favorite.
And this lineup was pretty stacked.
Dude, I was not really disappointed with most of the comics except you know one of them, but we'll get to that one in a little bit.
Indies as number ones,
dude. Like we
too. Respect.
We got a pretty good amount of indies on our actually. Yeah, we got a pretty good amount of indies on our list here.
And they're winning up the week.
Yeah, they're great. Really good stories and everything like that. So let's just get right into it. Ultimate Wolverine number 5.
Yes.
Now, if you guys have been listening with us, have been keeping up with us, you know that we were sorely disappointed with Ultimate Wolverine number 4, where like most of the action was happening off screen, and then bam, it shows you a room full of dead people, and you're like, why? Oh, episode 5, issue 5 of Ultimate Wolverine. It gets better. It really does. It is the debut, as the variant cover suggests, of the ultimate version of Sabretooth. And in this one, he's kind of like a coyote, ferrying various, mutants across the border, things like that. And this is part of the solicitations and everything, so it's not really too much of a spoiler.
Yes.
The European branch of whatever the Maker's cabal is under the rule of the Rasputins are busy scanning for a bunch of mutants, and Victor's over there. He just apparently he's a good guy, I guess, in this one, and he's trying to help out the mutants. He
did seem a lot more friendly, especially the flashbacks that happen in here. He seems a lot more friendly.
He does. He seems chill. So I do like the new portrayal of Sabretooth, but there's also an appearance of the ultimate version of Leech and the ultimate version of a famous Russian spy. So I'm not going to tell you exactly which one, because in the world of Marvel there's pretty much a bunch of them. But this one right here, really cool little intro to that character, and we get straight up down and dirty, but Ultimate Wolverine versus Ultimate Sabretooth, and it does not go the way you think it's going to go. Because while they are fighting, there's flashbacks here and there, and it makes you think like, oh man, I kind of want to see where this goes now, because let's be honest, 3 and 4 kind of just like waned on our like interest in this, but this one brought me back. I know it didn't really do much for you because you want to be taken off of it, but it brought me back.
It's not, even though I'm like nah, I'm not really gonna pick them up personally anymore. It still wasn't bad. I do agree, it definitely picked up a lot. I think some of the stuff that with me though was just the fact that all the other stuff I got this week, it was were really good. I liked it, and this one just kind of, it made me give more of that is it really worth getting this anymore? It's is Ultimate Wolverine really worth getting it when all this other stuff is coming out too at the time?
I totally agree with you. Like this week was jam packed with a bunch of gems, and then this one was just kind of it was the penny on top of the coins. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so it was just kind of especially since I got a lot of stuff this week that it was just spending this much money. It kind of hit that okay, maybe I need to dial back, and this is the one that unfortunately has to get cooked.
I'm right there with you. So, but I do want to see where issue 6 goes. So we may keep reviewing it. It's just moving. So I gave this one. I gave this one a 4 out of 5. While I can acknowledge that it was not my favorite one out of this stack, I do acknowledge that it is a very well done comic. The artwork is really good. The violence in here is well plotted. The action scenes are great. The twists are great. It just, like personally, it's just not as good as the rest of them.
Yeah.
It's not as enjoyable as the rest of them, in my opinion.
Yes.
So moving on to what do we got over here? What was this? Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe one last time, issue 2. I know, like kind of a bit of a mouthful, but like not nearly as bad as some manga that we were talking about earlier. But yeah, still pretty good.
Takes the cake on unnecessary length of names.
Now, if you're talking about unnecessary length of names, there's going to be another one that is like almost an entire paragraph long. Basically, it's Backstab and Backwater Dungeon.
I mean,
that's the shortened title.
Right now, I'm thinking about that one that I saw the other day when we were doing the unboxing. It's all like
I abandoned my engagement because my sister is a tragic heroine, but accidentally wound up in the service of a. Oh man, I can't remember the rest of it. some sort of like do-gooder prince or something like that.
You remember more than I did.
Yeah,
I just knew.
Well, I read it. I read it because it was interesting to me. I'm not gonna lie, man. Guilty pleasure. I read romance manga. This is a guilty pleasure, okay?
I mean,
my favorite one is Snow White with red hair. I highly recommend you watch the anime.
Sometimes romance is just what you need.
Yeah, it's good. It cleanses the soul. I recommend you watch the anime. It should be on Hulu, but I know it's on Crunchyroll. It's in English. It's like 22 episodes. Very well done. I highly recommend you watch it. Okay. Anyway, we're getting way off topic.
It's got a dub.
It's got a dub. It does have a dub.
I'm sorry to you people that like the fans out there that like subs, but it's just...
and very little fan service.
Oh, okay.
So like very little fan service. Like there's a couple parts because anime, manga, whatever. But very little fan service. Yeah. It's all well plotted and stuff like that. So Snow White with the red hair, very good, very well done. I think.
I get liking subs. I'm not gonna knock on you for it, but
I mean sometimes it's only available in sub, and I'll watch it as long as it's a good story.
I'm someone that if I'm gonna read,
might as well read the comic or the book.
Yeah.
all right. All right. Now back to our regularly scheduled program. Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe one last time, number 2. I straight up gave this one a 4 out of 5 as well. It is violent, it is mean, and Deadpool is finally trying to come back from his depressive state.
Yes.
And it's more evident now that his alternate psyches are coming back and talking to him. So it has him trying to figure out, like, while he's unaliving all of these alternate evil versions of these characters, what's the point? What's the overall goal? What's the MacGuffin that he has to look for? What's the target he's trying to basically like? And he answered a lot of these get answered. A lot of these get answered in this issue in a roundabout way. Yes, we get a name for the overarching antagonist, but we don't really know much about them aside from, if you go up against them right now, you're definitely not, like, you're not going to die. You're just going to, like, not exist anymore, which is a very tantalizing, like, power set. Like, what does that mean? Like, are they going to be able to erase them from, like, everything? That could be like
the sequel to Deadpool K-Words the Marvel Universe, where he's erasing them from existence by killing their inspirations.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What was that? Deadpool Killustrated or something like that, right?
I don't know. I thought it was just the second Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe.
I gotta read that one again because it's been a while since I've read that.
I'm pretty sure in that one is when he's like, he eventually realizes like, I'm K-worded all these universes, but they're still going to keep coming back because their inspirations still exist. So then he goes and starts like taking out like Sherlock Holmes and all these other guys.
I'm pretty sure that's Deadpool Killustrated, but I could be wrong because it's been a while since I read some of the Cullen Bunn stuff. So yeah, but yes, Deadpool Kills Marvel Universe one last time. The artwork amazing. The story is actually getting fleshed out. It's not just about unaliving people. There's actually an overarching mystery going on.
Like this one starts out with him just like seemingly all willy-nilly going after people, but then like towards like that little halfway point, he kind of like starts getting towards like, hey, let's get some story into this.
Yeah,
that's nice. But he's picking up some cool stuff.
He is picking up a lot of let's say ordnance.
Mhm.
All right, and it's not just guns and swords and stuff. He's picking up like he's basically kidding himself out, and it's I want to see how this goes around, because they've already made use of one of the tools that he picks up quite a bit in the second half of this book, and it looks good. I mean, in the hands of a master mercenary or whatever, it's super dangerous. But like most of the time, it's wielded by all these kind of dumbasses, really. Almost really, or like people that don't really push it to its limits, kind of thing. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that and try not to spoil it a little too much, because when you read this one, you're gonna be all like, "Oh man, that's so cool!" And I really don't want to take that away from you guys. So I'm just gonna leave it at the 4 out of 5, and there are a bunch of cool moments in here. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I gave it a 4 out of 5.
I can give it a 4 out of 5 too. Because it's good moments, and then I loved the little callback to one of a movie. I'm saying it's a call to a movie that I liked growing up. That was like from the '80s, the Monster Squad. It was a little.
Oh,
you ever saw that one?
It's so long ago.
It takes on a certain character in this. They kind of.
I mean, it's on both of the variants. So yes, it is Cap Wolf, and that's on the that's on the variant covers. On the regular
talks about
covers,
a certain weakness that he has. And he cuts him off. He gets cut off during it because Cap ends up biting him. But like he's straight up about to say, Cap Wolf's got nards. And I'm like, I love that. It was great. But yes, I can agree. 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. All right,
it's good stuff.
So
good
Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe one last time. Issue number 2, 4 out of 5. Moving on to what do we got here? Star Wars. Issue 1 of the new storyline. So this picks up a few months after Return of the Jedi. The New Republic is still in its infancy, and Luke is out with was it Red Squadron, hunting down pirates and remnants. This takes place after the final battle of Jakku, which in current Star Wars lore is where they finally gained victory over the Empire, and it is a thing of the past. And now these pirates that he's chasing have vehicles and weapons that they really shouldn't have access to, which leads to a larger mystery. In addition to the outlying planets not signing up with this new republic, and basically, like, war and threats are looming on every front. You have one part of the comic dealing with Luke and what he's got going on. Then you have another part of the comic like that dealing with the political side. Yes, exactly. Thank you. Dealing with what Leia is going through, and then you have a little like kind of a backup story with what Han is doing. And it all just kind of ties into one thing at the end very neatly, I think. I mean, yes, they're all in separate sectors or separate sections of space or the galaxy, whatever you want to say. Quadrants. Oh, I like that. But everything's all happening at one time, and it feels like an interconnected story. And when it first switches perspectives, you're like, wait, did I miss a page? Did the story just end right there? But no, it actually comes together.
Yeah, you gotta just keep going.
Yes.
Not necessarily push through it, because even then it still looks... It's still nice. It's still intriguing. But yeah, just like keep going. Don't worry about it.
So Phil Noto actually did the artwork for the interior, which is fantastic, because I only knew him as a cover artist, and it is... excuse me. It is very well done. And Alex Segura is on writing duties, and it keeps me drawn in, because it's just good. You know what I mean? I'm not really much of an extended Star Wars universe fan. Yeah, like I don't really read too many of the comics or the books or anything. So this one right here is my first time really reading a Star Wars comic, and I'm actually really excited about where it goes. So I think might be one of the ones where we keep reviewing issues later on, depending on how it goes. It is. I want to see where that mystery goes. Yeah. And there is a straight up mystery as to what is going on behind the scenes. and I'm there for it. You know what I mean? I gave it. What did I give? I gave this one a 4 out of 5. Positive 4. While I did greatly enjoy it, it did not rise to the 5 out of 5 for me. Just because I don't think we got enough Han.
I don't think so.
I don't think we got enough. Like the Leia and the Luke side. Yes, you got explanations there. You got the lead up, but Han was just like, "Hey, what are you doing?" Bam, bam, bam.
But he did still shoot first.
He did still shoot first. Yes, I did like that. I did like that a lot. So yeah, 4 out of 5 for Star Wars #1, the new #1 from Marvel Comics.
Star Wars.
What about you? What do you give it?
I think I'm gonna differ a little bit and just say it's a positive 3 out of 5. It's a positive 3 out of 5.
I could see why. Yeah, because
there's kind of like mostly towards what you said. There was like not as much Han as I would like. His part came in, and it's like it starts off with somebody else, so you're kind of just like, oh, okay, we're gonna
who's this guy?
Get to know a new person. Then Han comes in, and it's like as soon as he comes in, we jump back to Luke, and then it's just like a little bit of scenes spliced in between. I just would have wanted more. Wanted more to really see what he was doing there.
I think they should have added like maybe 3 or 4 of the pages to maybe fully flesh out the intro to whatever Han's got going on. But that's in my opinion. I think it could have been better like that. I think I could have given it a 5 out of 5 if they had more explanation as to what's going on with Han.
Yeah, because at this point it kind of felt like they were like, hey, we need Han in this too. We've like
they shoehorned him in, right? Like maybe
we need Han in this. And it just,
honestly, if they had taken out his entire part and just put it for issue 2, I would have been okay with that too.
Yeah, like even if they left it just, if they had his intro be the last page and it like end on a like, to be continued. Like I would have been like, oh sweet, we get Han in the next issue.
Yeah, so like just like the tantalizing, yes,
sexy bacon.
The sexy bacon. All right, so Star Wars #1, I gave it 4 out of 5. You gave it a 3 out of 5. Either way, we're both recommending to pick it up. Various reasons differ, but moving on to what do we got here?
Absolute Superman.
Absolute Superman #7. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I was a little disappointed with this one. But it's still good enough for us to put it at our number 3 or at our third from the bottom list. It has almost nothing going on with Superman aside from trying to get information, and we learn more about Brainiac, or rather this Brainiac, because as shown, you know what? That's a spoiler. I can't say what's going on behind the scenes with that particular Brainiac. Man, I don't know what is going on with me.
You delve into Brainiac's origin per se a little bit, and it's honestly like this Brainiac is honestly very creepy.
Yes, it's like super creepy.
It was kind of off-putting how creepy he was a little bit, and I was just like, oh.
You know what it reminded me of? A mix of Reanimator and that 1998 movie Virus.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
You never seen Virus? Okay, I don't blame you. It's so in Virus. I'm pretty sure it was 1998. A like naval vessel received a communication from outer space, and somehow it drove people insane. It drove the crew insane, and it animated the machines and things like that. It was very creepy. But the machines used the the remnants, like the leftovers for the people, and made robots. It was very creepy. Yeah, but that's what this reminded me of. This origin of Brainiac, and yeah, it was super creepy, and yeah, the movie was super creepy too. But it was very good. But this one right here, it while it did remind me of that really cool movie, it didn't really catch me. It didn't really hold my attention because this one right here, honestly, he felt like a Kylo Ren. He felt very whiny. Oh yeah, y'all guys were talking about her. I didn't even put that together.
We had a whole thing about this.
I wasn't paying attention because I was reading.
Way before things get.
Anyway, this version of Brainiac super whiny, and apparently he has a master, which is where we left off on the previous issue, number 6, I believe, where the owner, the director of the Lazarus Corp, is revealed to be Ra's al Ghul. And this one right here, straight up just like serves Ra's al Ghul. And he actually seems like he fears him.
Yeah,
which
does.
Brainiac doesn't fear anything.
Because see, I don't want to really go into that because it feels like it might be a spoiler as to why I kind of give that a little bit of a leeway, just because like I know this is Brainiac,
but he's not prime.
So I can kind of let that slide. Won't go any more into it because of it's kind of a bit of a spoiler,
right?
But yeah, so yeah, there's that. But also, yeah, I'm just kind of like really intrigued to see what this Ra's al Ghul.
The teasing of the I was about to say Ultimate Universe of the Absolute Universe Ra's al Ghul. I'm like super invested in this. I want to see how they changed him from a Batman villain to a Superman villain. I really want to see how that goes.
I'm super intrigued too, just because like I know I've said it before, but like again with like in the very first one of Absolute Batman, you find out that universe's Joker took out the League of Shadows.
Yeah.
And now you're like, League of Assassins.
And like
now you're like, okay, he's here.
What does that mean for this? Yeah. Is the Lazarus Corp like his second attempt at the League of Assassins kind of thing?
Yeah, something like that.
And then you get a little tease as to the new the main Peace Walker, John
Peacemaker.
Peace Walker. Oh, Peacemaker. You're right. What was it? Christian? I forget his last name, but he like the main Peacemaker. Chris Smith. Yeah, right. But the main Peacemaker gets a little tease in here, and how Ra's al Ghul has plans for him, kind of thing. You know, the little teasing here and there. Honestly, I didn't really care for this issue just because of the origin associated with this Brainiac, and nothing really advanced, except for the introduction of the Absolute Universe's version of a certain radioactive rock. That's about it.
I was like, yeah, this especially after the end note of number 6, where you find out like, oh, Roz is here. It really feels like it took a step back because out of nowhere it's like, no, we're gonna focus on Brainiac this issue, and you're like, okay, cool. Like I like Brainiac. Brainiac's cool. It could have been done good, but
it just kind of
it didn't land.
Yeah, I gave this one a 3 out of 5.
Yeah, I'll say like
it's still worth picking up, but like I'm not saying like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. It's just it's all right. It's a good read. But you know, I gave it a 3 out of 5.
Yeah, like overall, what it could possibly do for the Absolute Universe going ahead, pretty cool. But like, just contained in itself, is a little bit of a
like looking at it as the individual issue. Yeah, I totally agree. So Absolute Superman number 7, gave it a 3 out of 5. Definitely worth picking up. Still, it's just I'm not as enthusiastic about it. Moving on to Absolute Green Lantern number 2.
GL.
All right, and this one right here, Absolute Green Lantern number 2. I really liked the first one. I think I gave it a 4 out of 5. Or I think I gave it a 3 out of 5, something like that. This one right here, the first issue was good. It was a great origin. This one just keeps it going, and it ups the stakes. It shows you exactly what happened when Abin Sur landed in wherever he landed. I forget the town name, but it also shows the Absolute version of Guy Gardner and what's going on with John Stewart.
Jacked.
Yes, like he's
He was
straight.
a burly man.
Yes, he was. I don't know what's going on with that.
I don't know.
But he was judged by Abin Sur. And it's the newcomer right here. She's I forget her name. I forget her name. Yeah, because like her character is really good.
Oh, yeah.
I am terrible with names. That's the bad thing. Now Hal Jordan, the interaction between him and Abin Sur, brief though it was, showed that Hal's ready to throw down if he needs to, but like you got to calm down. Jon Stewart comes in, tries to mediate everything, and most of it is told in a flashback because the main character and Hal are sitting in that diner and they're trying to figure out what the heck is going on. And the best that Hal can surmise, they were both infected with something. And one of it, and the one that he has, wants to win in this game between light and dark or whatever. And that he may or may not have a built-in weapon. Never know. So it's the art. Yes,
it has no control over it. It's nothing.
Very symbiotic. Very symbiotic in nature, I would say.
Well,
no, I mean like.
I would say more parasitic. Because symbiote kind of, it's symbiote. You get a.
Well, I'm talking like the Marvel version of symbiote. Because over there they can overreact.
Okay.
And in order to protect their hosts, kind of thing.
Okay. I was going a little too literal on it, I guess. Okay.
I'm going like the Marvel use of the symbiote, not the comic symbiote.
Okay.
Yeah, not like IRL symbiote. But yes, like IRL, it could be considered like a parasite kind of thing. So this one right here, it fleshes out more of the backstory between the characters, their connections, and a little bit more of the power set involved with each one. And it leaves off on a cliffhanger as to what's going on with Jon Stewart, which I believe may involve a yellow ring.
I believe so.
I don't think so. I honestly don't. We will see. We will see how it goes. But Jon Stewart,
because to me, the way things have been the way things are going in these absolute universes, they really flip a lot of stuff on its head.
They have been,
and to me, Jon is he's such a wholesome.
Yeah,
he's like the great one, the one that really embodies that willpower. Especially because I think for a time, his ring, he didn't even need to charge it. It was, I think, for a little bit of time.
So there's actually a little bit of a backstory behind that. Because of his inclusion in Justice League, the show, the Bruce Timm era show, it influenced the comics directly.
Yes.
Because at one point they had only chosen him, for representation things, but the way that Phil LaMarr portrayed him, very stoic, very strong-willed kind of thing, and then that bled into the writing, which then crossed over into the comics themselves. In the Justice League show, they almost never showed him charging his ring, except very once in a while. So that made its way into the comics, and so yes, the show did elevate Jon's level in the comics themselves. And that's why nowadays Jon Stewart is considered one of the greatest Green Lanterns.
So just taking that, especially even though this is my theory, it's not really a spoiler because you don't know what Jon is introducing. All he puts it as is it's something that could be used possibly against Abin Sur. And it's just, from the looks of it, that's what I'm thinking it is, especially just because what a way to flip for this universe. It'd be such a way to flip it. You got, in my mind, because he's my favorite Green Lantern, the greatest Green Lantern falling to one of its most notorious enemies. And
yeah, I could see that because like you said, the Absolute Universe twists these things. Like Hal Jordan is now the Black Hand kind of thing, and that's not even a spoiler. That happened in issue 1, and then you have this one. The girl's Guy Gardner's ex-wife or estranged wife or whatever. Technically, a Gardner is still wielding a ring, kind of thing.
I'm still saying his wife. Paperwork has not been filed yet.
That's true. That's why I said technically a Gardner. And then how the lantern power itself reacts.
The way it seems to be working is it's very different.
Very different. And apparently, Abin Sur is some sort of judge.
Possible.
Like he's supposed to judge a species or individuals or something. They haven't really fleshed that out yet, but it's very interesting to see Abin Sur, still alive pretty much at this point, and see how that works. So very, very cool stuff is happening in Absolute Green Lantern #2. I honestly, I gave this one a 5 out of 5.
It's still high up there, but I'm sticking with a 4 out of 5.
Yeah,
just a 4 out of 5.
Okay,
because little just something. I can't really put exactly on it, but it was just a little bit of stuff. It was missing just a little bit of spice, a little bit more like oomph to give me that 5 out of 5. Like I was reading it, I was really enjoying it, but I wasn't like off the edge of my seat. There wasn't anything that really I was like, oh, that's awesome. I'm gonna remember that. Like especially like these other ones coming. Not necessarily this next one, but the last two. Like there are moments in there that I'm like, So even though I kind of am like giving my grade for these last two, the first two, like number 1 and number 2. They're both 5 out of 5s for me, but that's kind of like something that gives me it. It's like there's something in it that I'm like, oh, that was awesome, that's funny, I remember it. I just didn't really have anything for that here.
Right.
But I do like how this comic, like these issues overall, I don't know why, but there's just something about the fact that they leave the like outline a little bit more like just blank compared to other comics. How like you got the perfect little square of white around the whole thing.
Oh yeah,
why it looks cool.
It really does.
Like
it's well illustrated. It's well plotted. Things like that. So but all of that was why I felt it was a 5 out of 5. Plus, for me, I was like, oh man, I don't know where this is going. You know what I mean?
So you had that one. You kind of had that moment.
I had that moment. That's why I gave it a 5 out of 5. I'm like, man, I don't know where this is going, and that's why I'm really liking these new universes.
Yes.
Because they are flipping the script. They are not doing anything that I think that they should be for a Green Lantern comic or a Superman comic or Batman, Wonder Woman. They're not. They're just new versions of a character, but they're not acting the 100% the way they should.
It still has the like essence of what Green Lantern.
Exactly, and I'm not even a Green Lantern guy.
But it's different.
Yeah, I'm not even a Green Lantern guy.
Exactly.
I know the stories. I've read them. I'm just not I'm not there for Green Lantern. Oh my God, I'm there for this one. But yeah. So I gave it a 5 out of 5. You gave it a 4 out of 5. Basically, we're highly recommending Absolute Green Lantern #2. So definitely go and pick it up. Moving on to Captain Planet.
And I knew nothing about Captain Planet.
I had to do it that way because of Robot Chicken.
Besides Don Cheadle's little thing, I know nothing.
Everybody's about trees. So, Captain Planet. Okay, I read the ash can that they sent me for this, and a lot of the ash cans don't have words in them because they're not finished. This one was straight up like the first 6 pages, I think, of this issue, and I was already excited for it because of that. This one right here. Written by David Pepose, who took Space Ghost and just relaunched him for an entire new generation, and that I friggin' love. So he's doing the same thing with Captain Planet, and I gotta say, man, he did it. He did it right. Starts off with the priestess on the run from basically from mercenaries or whatever, what have you, right? And she summons Captain Planet. And this has been, in previews and shown all over the place, so it's not really that big of a spoiler. She summons Captain Planet herself, and she's like, whoa, I didn't know you were real. He's like, yep, I'm here, I'm real, have not lost a fight since the Cretaceous period, and, tries to save her, but he's still not acclimated to the current world, so he like underestimates stuff. Gets caught, priestess gets caught, Captain Planet goes away, but so do the rings.
Does that count as him losing a fight?
I think it does. But more than that, it shows the rings going to the Planeteers, and that's where most of the issue focuses on.
Yes.
Like half of it, well, I'm gonna say about a good third of it shows, you know, why the Planeteers are needed, and then the last 2/3 of it shows them being bestowed the rings and them using the each of the individual powers associated with them to fix or help somebody or to fix a situation, save people. So they are shown to be a little bit more rough around the edges than, you know, the Saturday morning cartoons are shown, which I used to love watching. Captain Planet, you know, Boomerang, stuff like that. It was so cool way back in the day. And yes, like I was like, what, 4 when I was watching. I'm like, yeah, Captain Planet. And they even work in the the catchphrases by our powers combined. You have power, things like that. It was so cheesy on some of the lines in here, but it brought out the nostalgia while also updating it. So that I greatly enjoyed Captain Planet. The artwork is amazing, and the updated characters for the Planeteers. They're all the same people that you remember, the same kids that you remember, but they're, you know, a little bit more grown up. You know, they have established careers, things like that, and now they have another thing to add to their resume, Planeteer. And it's just really good. It leaves off on that cliffhanger where you finally find out who's doing all of this, and it is the classic Saturday morning villain. And I was like, oh, super cool. So yeah, I'm a little bit biased on this, I know, but I gave it a 5 out of 5. I loved it, and I highly recommend picking up Captain Planet.
I feel like it was a good intro. Again, I know nothing about Captain Planet, but it's a very solid intro, and it gets me interested in it. And like the characters, I had no idea. I thought Captain Planet was just like, I didn't realize you had to summon this man. And
nah, he is
basically like Captain Thunder in DC, where you got multiple different people that have to say
sort
something.
of,
and it's like.
You're not far off from that. It's like they each represent like an elemental foundation of the world.
Of Earth.
Yes, alchemic symbols.
Yes,
and their abilities combine to summon the basically spirit of the world, and that is Captain Planet.
Yes, but yeah, like he already has talked it up just about as much as you can talk it up. On my side,
I'm biased though, because I freaking love Captain Planet.
On my side, the person that doesn't really know about it, it's a very solid intro. The art is nice. One of these dudes in here, I'm calling him a poacher just because he was getting attacked by the cheetah. Straight up looked like Method Man.
He did!
So yes, like art was nice. The whole thing is pretty good. I'd give it a solid 4 out of 5.
Yeah,
it's a great start, good intro.
Okay, so the unbiased gave it a 4 out of 5. All right, I'm like, yes. Okay, all right. I feel slightly vindicated.
I feel like it's warranted it. Plus, like I've seen a few other things praising it too, saying like, hey, this is a reboot as reboots should be done.
Yeah,
just basically kind of what they were saying about Space Ghost too. Like, and you even said the same guy did it, and so it's like,
oh, and he also is doing the Speed Racer one that I'm like super excited for, because once again, Speed Racer, we're getting a Speed Racer comic.
Yet again, a character I don't really know much about besides for the movie.
I mean, you're not. It's not too far off.
Oh, okay.
It's not too far off from that. It's less fantastical and more like, you know, driving through a canyon and doing the whole boing with the blades. Okay. But you know, it's not too bad. It's not too far off. So Captain Planet, I gave it 5 out of 5. I'm a little bit biased, but you gave it a 4 out of 5, so I feel vindicated. Moving on to our runner-up to comic of the week.
But I feel comfortable saying this might be my personal comic of the week.
Honestly,
I might be a little biased because it's got my name on it. There's a character with my name in this.
Honestly, I'm cool having 2 different comic of the weeks for one for each of us, because like, we're not going to agree on everything. Yeah. So yeah, go ahead, man. Talk it up. This is your comic of the week. Go ahead, talk it up, man. So, Blood and Thunder.
Yes.
Number 1.
Honestly, You don't really get too much of an overarching story just yet. You get an introduction of what looks like maybe the main villain that's got like some tentacle stuff trapped inside a floating space prison.
It's like, yes, floating space
Like,
prison, man.
And that's what you get from that. And then it goes to the introduction of the main character, Blood, which...
Bledsoe Blood, Electra? Something like that.
But Bledsoe Blood for short. She's a bounty hunter. Pretty bad, bounty hunter as well. You get a little bit of introduction into the world as well. Like there's tiers, levels of like citizens. Obviously, like
honestly, it gave me Fifth Element vibes like that.
Fifth Element. I also kind of got a lot of like, even though I've never really read a Judge Dredd comic, it gave me the Sylvester Stallone Judge Dredd vibe because like it starts off with the dude getting a cab. And like he's really up high, everything looks nice, and it's kind of like goes lower and lower, and the lower you get, it gets kind of run down and weird. And so you get the introduction to her. She's hunting a runaway prison breaker, and the highlight of it later, my C. Yeah. The highlight of this though is the fact that in this universe, their weapons. Well, I'm not sure if it's all their weapons, but at least their main, like, handheld weapons seem to have artificial intelligence. And her weapon is an older model, but it's got sentimental value to her, so she continues to use them. And it is named Thunder. And he's a weapon with a conscience. He refuses to kill. He does not. There's a moment where I'm thinking in this one she didn't intend to kill him either, to kill her target, but since he's, artificial intelligence, he can do calculations, and he's like, no, I'm not gonna load that into the chamber because at this distance it's gonna take him out. And I don't kill people. You know this. And so they have like a whole little banter of it. It's just like, all right, well, give me this. He's like, nope, still not happening. Give me this. Nope, still not happening. And then they get to like one where he's like, okay, that I will do. Yes, that is good. It's just nice. Like I really like this. I really love humor, and anytime you can do that in with a action scenes and all that too is great, and still not have it like take anything away from it. It's just so nice. This might be yet another comic where one of us has a little bit of bias on it, just because
it's your name.
It's my name, and the character that I like. It's me. It's not my name. And he says a lot of puns, too.
Yeah, there are a lot of puns in here.
It's like, this is me. I may set aside one of these comics just because I kind of want to own it. So I'm like, I'm probably going to set aside one of these. I didn't get it to start with, but I'm probably going to set aside one and get it next week because it's very nice. It's a 5 out of 5 to me. The dude, and again, there's another comic where I don't know his name, but there is the chief of the police industry. Looks a lot like the dude from The Office that goes, it's hentai.
Oh my gosh!
And it's called art, and it's art. He
does look like him. Oh my gosh!
And I'm just like, when I got to that, that's all I imagined him talking as is that, and it's just like, this comic is just so good. It's a very nice time. Like, I am intrigued to see where it goes. There's a cliffhanger where the possible prison break going on, and it's like, I'm just for it. This one is nice.
It is a very well done comic, very well written. The artwork is amazing. The action is great, and the banter, the dialogue is just fantastic. I love it. And not only that, but the writers actually got input from Robert Kirkman, creator of Invincible and The Walking Dead, and he actually had a hand in helping them plot out their dialogue and everything on there. So this one right here is like a team effort from Image Skybound, and I gotta say, man, I gave it a 5 out of 5 as well. I really enjoyed the comic. I'm really excited to see where it goes and to see pretty much more of the world building involved in this, because there's a mystery going on, not just like the twist ending where there's a possible prison break, but where a MacGuffin pretty much pops up, and everybody's all like, "But that doesn't make any sense. Why would they do this?" Well, now there's a mystery in that as well. So maybe that's gonna like mess with her idea on what is right and wrong, and maybe it's gonna inform on her later decisions depending on where things are going. So yeah, definitely worth picking up. Blood and Thunder #1 promises to be a fantastic series in the offing. So yes, definitely worth picking up. 5 out of 5. Blood and Thunder #1.
I like it.
All right, moving on to my comic of the week, Pop Kill #3.
And this has been a series that we've both really enjoyed.
Yes.
It's just, honestly, if it wasn't for my little biasness going into that one, yes, I completely 100% agree. But this is one time that I'm like, I'm going to be a little biased. And
So the artwork in there, Jimmy Palmiotti, is fantastic. It has not dipped in quality at all as the comic has been going. The writing is still like an 80s action thriller, like 80s action spy thriller kind of thing, set to a fantastical backdrop of two warring soda companies. Yes, soda companies.
It gets kind of, you get a backstory of the two bad guys on this one.
Yeah.
There was a moment that I was all like, dang, that guy is messed up.
Yes. So like, and the 80s action thriller with the out there bad guys is prominent as well. The action, the car chasing, the random out of place strip club scene. Yes, there's a strip club scene, and it just screams like dude, Dolph Lundgren and Arnold Schwarzenegger should have done a movie like this in the 80s. They probably did, and I just don't know what it's called. And it
definitely does give a vibe like that, where either Dolph Lundgren, Schwarzenegger, or one of the big,
or Stallone, Bruce Willis, like any of them back in their heyday could have done this, and we would have eaten it up. You know what I mean? Something
that I think was kind of funny to me is kind of like the playful backhandedness towards James Bond, because he wrecks a car in this. They don't name it that, like they don't give the name for it, but it's straight up the classic James Bond car. And they kind of backhand it, being all like, this guy thinks he's gonna outrun me in this outdated. And I'm like, wow.
He's like, man, this sucks. I was gonna steal it from him later, but now I gotta crash it.
I gotta crash it. And I'm like, wow. It's so nice.
Yep. It's really good. The action, the writing, it's funny. It's got so much action in it, and it's just a really good experience reading this one. Pop Kill #3, definitely worth picking up. 5 out of 5. This is my comic of the week. So yes,
Stallone and the guy from Escape from New York.
Kurt Russell?
Kurt Russell. They made a movie like like you're talking about.
Okay.
They hated each other in the movie.
Tango and Cash?
Yeah.
Tango and Cash.
No. I've seen Tango and Cash. This isn't really like Tango and Cash. It has. I guess it could have the essence of it because 80s kind of thing. So yeah, but this is just a really good read. Okay, definitely not for kids. It is not a kids show. It's not a kids movie.
Considering that even J. Scott Campbell is going to do a racy.
Yes, I already have them ordered. Okay,
I will probably get that one. It's not because of its risque, because J. Scott Campbell.
I have J. Scott Campbell comics waiting for me at my house right now.
But yes,
they just got delivered.
It's like, I give this a 5 out of 5 as well. It is really good. You get backstory for the two main villains,
the twins,
and they take they have like some of their some classic like sibling banter going on, but it is taken to such a
such an extreme, man. It's so like, messed up.
You may call like it's not. I'm not gonna like go into the exact context in which this is used, but like the classic like, oh, you're ugly, like talk between siblings.
They're twins.
But the context in which it's used is like, oh my gosh, that is brutal.
So they are straight up twins. They were conjoined twins, and one of them says to the other, "You were so ugly that our father had to do off himself." And it's just like, what? Who says that?
I didn't want to go into that specifically, just because I don't know. I felt like that was kind of a little bit of a spoiler. But
I don't care, man. That was brutal. That was messed up.
But yeah, like their dad. It's revealed their dad offs himself on the day they were born. It looks like.
Apparently, one of them was just that ugly.
Because yeah, the mother straight up looked like she was still in the hospital.
Yeah,
it goes by the window she's in too, and one of the brothers just like, yeah, because you were so ugly. It's just like, that is brutal, bro. That's messed up.
And that's just like the tip of the iceberg on their banter towards each other. Like they straight up hate each other. Mm-hmm. But like that is probably the nicest thing one of them said.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like that's just like some of the writing in here, and it's so brutal, it's so funny in the most messed up of ways, but it's just straight up just a good comic.
Yes.
And that's why it's like my comic of the week. And yeah, definitely pick it up. Pop Kill number 3. I think that about does it for our reviews for tonight.
I believe so.
Nothing else. No, we haven't read anything else. I already did the recommendation for Trinity earlier this week. But yeah, if you like the rantings raving to Mad Men, go ahead and give us a like, follow, share us with your friends, and we will see you guys next time. Later.